Falls from even as little as 4 feet can cause serious injury, even death. This is why falls are one of the leading causes of injury and death in the workplace. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, creates and enforces rules for fall protection on the job. OSHA defines 2 kinds of fall protection: passive fall protection and active fall protection. Passive fall protection includes things like guardrails, netting, hole covers, and other safety measures that are temporarily or permanently installed in a work area. When passive fall protection is not enough, active fall protection is recommended. There are a number of approved active fall protection systems, which are chosen based on the specific situation. These may include personal fall arrest systems, positioning systems, travel restraint systems, or rope descent systems. This course provides an overview of active fall protection systems. When this course has been completed, you should be able to identify active fall protection systems and their characteristics. Whatever system or systems your workplace uses needs to be designed and inspected by a designated competent person, and you'll need hands-on training over the specific types you'll use. Before we explore the specific types of fall protection, let's discuss a few common components of active fall protection systems. Connectors must have a corrosion-resistant finish, and surfaces and edges must be smooth to keep parts from being damaged. Snap hooks and carabiners must automatically lock and require at least 2 separate consecutive movements to open. Anchor points for fall protection equipment must be independent of any anchors used to suspend work platforms. Anchor points must also be strong enough to support the full weight of a worker in case of a fall. Specific anchor points can be built into a structure, but you may be able to use existing components of the structure if they are strong enough to withstand a fall. Never use guardrails, ladders, scaffolding, light fixtures, vents, or anything that might not be able to support you if you fall. One of the most common types of active fall protection is the Personal Fall Arrest System, sometimes referred to as a PFAS. A personal fall arrest system is designed to prevent a worker from falling more than 6 feet from a working surface and prevent contact with any level below. A PFAS consists of a harness, an anchor point, and a connector, such as a lanyard or retractor line. The connector secures the harness to the anchor point. Anchor points may be a fixed point, or a horizontal lifeline, or a conventional beam and trolley system. A PFAS must never be attached to a guardrail, since a guardrail may not be able to support the weight or force of a worker during a fall. The harness must be designed to minimize stress forces on the body during a fall. For this reason, body belts are not acceptable for personal fall arrest systems. The PFAS must be able to support the worker safely until a rescue can be performed. All parts of the system must meet OSHA standards and must be inspected by a competent person before each use. A positioning system is a configuration of devices and connectors that supports a worker on an elevated vertical surface. In other words, a positioning system is used to let workers hang down so they can use both hands to perform work on walls, windows, and power poles. Positioning systems usually include a body harness or body belt and keep workers from falling more than 2 feet by attaching the harness or belt directly to an anchor point on the work surface. Unlike a PFAS, positioning systems allow the use of body belts due to limited fall distance and stress on the body. Positioning devices need to be rigged to keep workers from falling too far and should be designed to support the worker's weight. Positioning system testing should always be performed by a competent person to ensure that the system can support the type of work being performed. A travel restraint system is a combination of an anchor point, a connector, lanyard or other lifeline, and body support or harness that prevents a worker from moving past the edge of a walking or working surface. This could be used when working on a rooftop that doesn't have guardrails or another form of passive fall protection. A travel restraint line must be able to sustain a tensile load of at least 5,000 pounds. When you use a travel restraint system, you'll need to pick an anchor point at the center of your work area. You'll also need to make sure your system's lifeline won't let you go off the ledge when it's fully extended. As with other fall protection systems, a competent person must inspect the system before you use it. A rope descent system is a suspension system that allows workers to descend and stop as necessary to perform work. Rope descent systems are often used for exterior building and window cleaning, maintenance, and inspections. A rope descent system usually consists of an anchor point on the roof, a support rope, a descent device, carabiners or shackles, and a place for a worker to sit. Rope descent systems can't be used for heights greater than 300 feet and must be used as designed by the manufacturer under the direction of a qualified person. Make sure to inspect the rope descent system before you start your shift. You'll also need to use a separate PFAS when you use a rope descent system. In construction activities, often, many forms of fall protection are not feasible during the initial construction of surfaces, including floors, roofs, and decking. In these situations, controlled access zones and safety nets may be used. Controlled access zones are areas around an unprotected edge where access is limited to only properly trained personnel. Boundaries and edges must be clearly marked, and control lines, perimeter safety cables, or similar devices must be used. Control lines are ropes, wires, or similar materials stretched across the open edge and marked with high visibility flags. Safety nets catch people or objects that have fallen, providing a secondary line of protection if other means of fall protection fail. Obviously, safety nets must be strong enough to support a falling employee. Safety nets must have sufficiently small openings to prevent people and objects from falling through the net. The net must be close enough to the working surface that a fall into it won't injure the employee, and never more than 30 feet below. The net must also be positioned with the outer edge of the net between 8 and 13 feet horizontally from the edge of the working surface, so that the falling employee will not slip past the net.